Welcome, welcome, welcome. A Victory Friday for you here on Damon Bruce Plus, also streaming on Thinking Out Loud with Siciliano and Sam. We weren't able to connect yesterday, so Sammy comes by for a little victorious post game for the 49ers. What a Thursday nighter. Sammy, great to see you, brother.
So good to see you. And even though I was very anxious about joining on Thursday to preview this Niners-Rams game, as soon as you and I spoke it out loud, it was so obvious that Friday was going to be so much more meaningful if we could do it, because the post of this game, I mean, it's week 5. It is playoff level week 5 matchup. The game you and I have circled since the schedule came out. And it was so appropriate that we now get to speak about what happened, because the preview would have been fine, but I'm so much happier that we have so much to dissect coming off a big win.
I feel like the Stefan character from Weekend Update.
Yes.
This game had everything. And it really did. Speaking of, this guy's got everything. See that guy in the corner? No, not Sammy. That guy named Ike. He's got something for you. And because it's October, it can be purple. He's bringing back the Purple Dutch Crunch, the phantom favorites for October, everyone. Get yourself to Ike Sandwiches, a proud sponsor of Damon Bruce. Plus, my man Ike has got a delicious sandwich waiting for you, and I hope you live in an Ike's delivery area or around an Ike's, or plan on moving close to an Ike's soon. I hope you plan on moving into San Francisco tomorrow around 4:20 in the afternoon, because we are going to be at the Dubliner West portal. I'm going to get a whole bunch of Ikes delivered, by the way, to us, and we're going to be eating well and drinking well and hanging out and watching a little Cal Duke, which is going to be playing tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a good night and a victory party for some Niners fans getting together at the Dubliner West portal. Hopefully you can join us there in person. And again, our friends at Sleeper. I did something very stupid last night. I took an over on Brian Robinson rushing yards. I totally forgot that Shanahan has utter contempt for his other running back, the guy not named Christian McCaffrey. And that was a stupid bet. I hit the other legs. I did. I hit my Stafford over, my Mac Jones over, my McCaffrey anytime touchdown, but I had to add that fourth leg, and the fourth leg, it's what you always trip over.
Who doesn't have a parlay story about hitting all but one?
All but it's that is how. Look at it this way: there's a lot more parlay stories that sound like that than I won my parlay. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Over on Sleeper, you get a $100 deposit match right now, up to $100. Use promo code Damon. Click on the link that is in the description of this video. And oh, by the way, here's just a free $20 from Sleeper. Nice. No deposit needed. You go ahead, you sign up. There's a free 20 for you to start playing with in there, and you got a very interesting slate of football coming up this weekend that really, Sammy, every single NFL game is going to have trouble living up to Thursday night football. You know, I was just doing a show with Kruger, and he said, did we enjoy that because I'm a Niner fan and we covered the Niners? And I'm like, no, I think if you were sitting in Minneapolis last night watching that game on Thursday night football, you didn't turn it off. That was a fun football game. All the drama. You had a team that wasn't supposed to show up, get out to a 14-0 lead. They're up by 10 at half. Then the third quarter comeback and the Rams start coming in. Then all of a sudden we got plays starting to happen and some screw-ups which keep the game alive. The 49ers are able to survive a fumble on special teams because of a quick whistle.
Clear fumble.
We got missed field goals, missed point after touchdowns. We got scraping upright field goals from everyday Eddie.
That was a kiss, by the way. That's the definition of a kiss, right? That's a kiss on the cheek that you then move on with your life, right? I mean, it powered past. I would say usually it's the ball that's asking, whoa, what just happened there? That was the goalpost saying, whoa, what was that? I mean, that was beautiful, the way the ball just powered through that. He nailed it. You got to kick the ball significantly for the rotation to not even flinch after hitting something on the way through. That was Eddie P is here.
Drilled it. I mean, he hit a 59-yarder. I mean, that is the edge of his field goal range, and he hit that one. That was big. By the way, did you see me?
Yeah. What happened? Was that like? Is there a bird inside? What happened?
You know what it is? It's a little toothpaste.
Nothing like toothpaste that'll stick with you. By the way, there's two things in my life. Now, toothpaste, obviously, I'm going to accept day to day, but there's two things in my life I would consider avoiding. Toothpaste, I can't avoid, but because of the repercussions, toothpaste. If it hits something, a black shirt or black material, it's done. That is requiring of a wash at this point. The other thing, by the way, syrup. You know, syrup on a pancake, etc., whatever.
Do I know syrup?
Try to get syrup on your hand and then go the rest of the day without realizing that, yep, that syrup's with you. That syrup sticks with you all day long. And it's worth it. It reminds you of a beautiful breakfast, but it's with you.
So you probably don't know about this because you don't have a mustache, but have you ever eaten like an ear of corn with butter all over it with a mustache, and then you get the stinky butter in your and your mustache smells like butter?
So you're kettle corn all day. You're basically just Mr. Kettle corn.
You don't want that. But anyways, look, what the 49ers did last night, I remember, just Monday after that Jacksonville loss, I said, Larry, you want to do the glass half full or the glass half empty show? He's like, I'm in no mood for a glass half full show. Well, today the glass is half full. Whether you want
no. The glass is full.
There you go.
I'm sorry. The glass is full. And by the way, I'm never gloomy. And let me just explain one thing. I want to respond. You said, is that game worthy because of Niners fans, or is that game worthy because of NFL fans that enjoyed it? At my core, my dad's from Philadelphia. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not a fan of the Niners. I followed this team. I started my professional life in San Francisco following this team, the Raiders, the Giants, the Warriors, the A's, etc. But that game, from an NFL standpoint, and certainly from an NFC standpoint, that is at the level of perhaps, I'm going to say Ravens-Bills has it in the AFC. That game lived up in every way to two heavyweights going at it. Niners-Rams brought back what last year robbed of us. By the time the Niners and Rams played their second game last year, the Niners season had largely unraveled. This game brought it all back. This game brought back the idea that Shanahan and McVay are a worthy rivalry in the NFL at that level.
How about that coaching matchup for a little bit? Now, Shanahan made a decision at the end of the game that almost made me want to have him fired on the spot. I hate when he didn't go for it on 3rd and 8. It's a kill shot. You have a kill shot. You literally go to victory formation if you pick up this 3rd and 8, and he's running McCaffrey on running back draws into Jake Brendel's butt 3 times in a row because he's on his own goal line. I didn't like that. I thought Kyle had 59 stellar minutes coaching and then nearly let it all go. I love that McVay, he was all over himself for saying it was the wrong call, but it was the right decision to go for it right there. McVay said, I'm going to take my kill shot. He didn't fire it well. Shanahan didn't even pull the trigger on his kill shot, and he breathed life back into the Rams. I thought that was just an unfair thing to do to a team that had left it all out on the field for you. Having said all that, they survive it all. They survive it all, and they're undefeated in their division. They're undefeated in their conference. Given all of the injuries and moving parts, Sammy, their 4-1 is the best 4-1 in football.
Without question, right now, if you were ranking the league right now, I think you'd have to take the Niners schedule and say that's unprecedented. Anyone who's a Bills and Eagles fan can say, obviously, we don't have a blemish yet. Fine. But the Niners stacks up. That is the tier. We'll get to it. That's the tier that the Niners are now in. The Niners, without Nick Bosa, without Brandon Ayuk, without George Kittle, without Brock Purdy at the moment, are in the tier, in my estimation, with the Eagles and the Bills. That's where I'd put them.
Here's the thing. I'm not there yet. They could get there. But the thing is, I've seen the Eagles and the Bills play well. I have yet to see the 49ers really play well. I mean, they are a little bit of a smoke and mirrors 4-1.
But I just want to say this much. Everybody in Philly can't stand the Eagles offense at the moment, and there is an A.J. Brown issue brewing. So let's say that for the blemish on the Eagles.
That's more of a controversy in Philadelphia than there's a controversy at quarterback here. But people are going to try to speak this quarterback controversy into existence.
And we'll get there. By the way, we'll get there. I want to say something about Shanahan's decision. I think Mac Jones was hurt. I think Mac Jones was legitimately not 100%. And I don't think Shanahan wanted to rob him at that point of all of the positive that had been done. And if he forces a throw there and now the Rams, pick up a fumble, intercept the ball, whatever, all of a sudden you are giving the game to the Rams. If you make a poor decision there, you are giving the game. Instead, he was giving the game back to his defense, which had made Alfred Collins the best play of the game, the best play of the season. The best play of the season, the best play of the 49ers season to this point belongs to Alfred Collins. Alfred Collins is now in the Defensive Rookie of the Year conversation because of that play. That is hand of God level punch out that I mean, it looked like a whale. It actually looked like that killer whale that gets the seal and jumps out of the ocean, National Geographic or Discovery Channel level. His hand coming over rainbow style into Kyron Williams. Williams had no chance. And then the idea that he then just lands beautifully on top of it to recover it. There's not a more beautiful defensive play in the league so far this season than that.
It was a Hulk smash. It really was.
Smash the like button, smash Kyron Williams. That is a smash that absolutely took it. That was almost, the game where you have the mallet and you're hitting the gophers in the hole or whatever the hell it is. I mean, that's whack-a-mole. That was Alfred Collins whack-a-mole level, and that's legendary. I mean, I think there should be T-shirts made. That this is our defense. That is. I'm sorry, that was spectacular, and
he's already had a better career than Javon Kinlaw in one play.
Is that amazing?
One play.
And by the way, Bryce Huff had a moment also. Bryce Huff
got to a quarterback.
Gorgeous moment as well. That was this team saying, we're not concerned that Bosa's not here. We're not concerned that Purdy's not here. We're not concerned that Kittle's not here. Tungus. And we're not concerned that Brandon Ayuk is not here. Kendrick Bourne, career performance. And by the way, I texted you the one drop he had I was pissed about. Early in the game, I was pissed. He dropped a third down pass. I was pissed. And he goes on to shut me up. That's for sure.
I will say this. Kendrick Bourne, 10 catches, a career high, 140-something yards, and he shows up to that press conference in a straight-up maroon suit and stunner shades. Like, did you have something to wear if you'd had a bad game? Because that's the I had a good game suit. And you can't show up after a bad game looking like that. I wonder if he showed up with two outfits.
And he and Mac must have talked about it because Mac Jones, the black and red split down the middle. I mean, that is, that goes to show you when the guys say Mac Jones is cool and we're kind of thinking, really? Like, is he? Because I don't necessarily know that. There's the suit and then that swagger, that shoulder roll with I'm here. I mean, Mac Jones is a story for this season. He is. No matter what happens, Mac Jones is a story this season.
He showed up looking like a can of cherry Coke at the end of that, like a red velvet. I either said he's either going to a funeral of a friend of his who was in the Bloods. Maybe his new nickname, whenever he's wearing that suit, should be Black Jones, because that's a black man suit.
That's
a white
awesome.
man can't pull
that's
that
awesome.
Off. Black Jones.
Mac Tonight Jones.
Yeah. But seriously, a white man cannot wear that suit. It's like a canary yellow suit. If you're white, you can't pull that off. You have to be Jalen Rose getting drafted to pull off a canary yellow button down triple-breasted suit,
and what's amazing about him showing up in the black and red is that he lived up to it. So you're right. I hope he had something else hanging in case he had a dud of a game, but it hanging on the hanger. But that was Mac, gorgeous.
Danny coming in before the show even started with a 10 spot for the Mac attack. It is the return of the Mac. I mean, it is.
I mean, just again, that show, we'll get it eventually and kind of trying to show it up here from Twitter. But I mean, Mac, just the way the shrug.
Right here, look at Shush.
Yes.
Shoulder shrug, bro. It was like Neo.
I don't know that there's not a bet. It's Allen Iverson stepping over Ty Lue in game one of the NBA finals from the year 2000. I mean, that's what it reminds me of. It's that level of boom, not taunting, somehow not taunting. And that was after a Rams defender knocked into him. And then he just kind of goes, what else you got? I mean, it was quite, look, I don't want to talk quarterback controversy. I want to talk about how upset I was before the game. I do want to discuss one thing because you and I didn't speak before the game. I have to get this off my chest. What the fuck was Brock Purdy doing starting against Jacksonville?
Thank you. Okay. This is something that I said there are two things about Kyle that I wanted to talk about on this show that are in a negative light. And today's a day to be positive. Like
it is.
I hated Kyle not going for the kill shot. A week ago, I hated the decision that brought Brock Purdy back into a game where he proved to be ineffective. You lose the game, and then you lose the player because you re-aggravate the injury. When you've got this ready to go, if you can tell me that Mac Jones's knee was officially barking louder pre-Jacksonville than Brock's toe was, and that made the decision, I'll understand it a little bit, but it's a shame. And I really do think had Mac played against Jacksonville, they got a better chance of winning that game. And they could be a 5-0 football team. I'm not going to complain at 4-1, but they might have been 5-0.
And remember my theory on this, okay? If Mac has an issue injury-wise and Brock has an issue injury-wise, I'm okay with starting nobody at quarterback for the Jacksonville game. Remember how I look at this. I look at this as an AFC game that is largely going to be irrelevant in every single tiebreaker that's going to matter at the end of the season.
It's the first throwaway of the year.
It is a throwaway, and you've got a short week with your biggest game coming up Thursday. Taking Brock Purdy out of that game allows Brock to not fill his head with anything Jaguars related whatsoever, and he is preparing for the Rams Thursday night game, and he's got 3 weeks of a bye week to do it. This is essentially like starting the season against the Rams. He's got that much time to now prepare only for the Rams game. Hey, Brock, this week, instead of the Jaguars game, I want you to just watch the Rams-Colts game. How about that? Instead of even watching our game against Jacksonville, I want you to just watch the Rams-Colts game. Sit with the scouts and watch the Rams-Colts game, because that's who you're playing Thursday in your start back from injury. What an opportunity to fill his mind with all that mattered. Instead, you fill his mind with Jacksonville prep, irrelevant, and you lose the game, and he then would potentially be dealing with short week prep for the Rams game unnecessarily, when that would have been your number one advantage over Stafford. Stafford had to put everything into a very real opponent in Indy. And by the way, Indy was a clear trap game. Between the Eagles and the Niners for the Rams were the Indianapolis Colts. All right. The Colts with Daniel Jones, when the season started, nobody thought that was going to be special. Granted, they were undefeated coming in, but that Colts game is a trap game if I've ever seen it. We're playing the Super Bowl champs who ended our season 1 week, and then we're playing the Rams. We're playing the Niners on Thursday night, our number one rival, and in between is the fucking Colts. I'm sorry, but that was a trap, and that was an opportunity to get ahead of them, and instead throw Brock out there, fill him with Jaguars prep and the loss on top of it. But again, I'm not upset with the loss, because remember, I was okay with the loss. I was okay with the loss because I thought you should have sat everyone in the stands for that game and let the Jags play each other and just take the loss and take the bye and prepare for the Rams game. That's what mattered. But guess what? Now I'm going to throw that away. I'm going to put that in the recycling bin, and I'm not going to be angry anymore.
Hey, look, winning is the ultimate deodorant. It really is. You know, at 3-2, there is anxiety, bedlam, and anger. 4-1, San Francisco's a very happy city this afternoon.
And again, your thumbnail, 4th and 1 WON, is so beautiful because of the McVay postgame, because of what I'm sure how proud Kyle is of the defense. The game comes down to 4th and 1. The game often comes down to a 4th and 1, or that final first down that you need to put a game away. And 4th and 1, I'm sure the Rams have many options, many items that they run in practice that just click on a 4th and 1 scenario. I'm sure of it. And I would imagine Puka's involved in a lot. But then again, I mean, look, they had a big pass to Ferguson last night. I mean, there are options. Now, they don't have a bootleg option for Stafford. I'm sure that you don't want to be doing that with Stafford. But yes, how creative was their play? It also goes to show you, and I hate to make this about Philly, but that's what the tush push is from a philosophical standpoint and a psychological standpoint when you have that guarantee, and the Rams clearly don't have it.
The Niners were 3 for 3 on 4th down last night. One of them was their own version of the tush push with Kyle Juszczyk literally hands on Mac Jones's buns, pushing him forward. So
and that's it. You just want the refs pointing in the direction of first down. That's all you need. It does not need to look pretty.
Football is a copycat league. You see another team having success with something, you copy it. That's not uncreative. That's smart. That's what you're supposed to do. It was a great night for the JV team. Again, the 49ers go down to Los Angeles. 407 total yards, 6.7 yards per play, 333 in the air, 74 on the ground. They're 7 of 18 on 3rd down, 3 of 3 on 4th down. They scored 26 points and had the ball over for 40 minutes. To me, the biggest thing to take out of all of those numbers is, Kyle, you can crank out about 350 to 400 yards of offense, obviously, with fucking anybody. You know what you need to do? You need to reinvest in your offensive line, because that's the difference between did you punch it in from the 5 or did you settle for a field goal. It's how the Eagles win Super Bowls, by dominating with an offensive line. If the 49ers had a dominant offensive line, I'd tell you, yeah, they'd go to the Super Bowl this year. I still don't know who they are. They still haven't even really played well yet. I'll tell you, though, here's another thing. You know, everyone's looking at the offense that was produced. The other amazing element of the Niners won that game, They gave up 456 total yards on the road to a team with a really good defense and won without a ground game. And they
never trailed. Never trailed.
Never trailed. They dominated time of possession in this game. How do you do that without a ground game? I really don't know, but they did. And Christian McCaffrey's numbers are equally unimpressive, like galactically unimpressive. Listen to this. So this is from Josh Dubow. Christian McCaffrey's 3.1 yards per carry this season are the fewest for a 49er back through 5 games with 50 or more attempts since Glenn Coffey in 2009.
There's a name nobody was looking for.
Glenn Coffey quit playing football to go talk about religion. He's like, I'm done with football. I'm going to go be a preacher. So we hope Glenn has found peace and happiness in his life. Christian McCaffrey producing less than Glenn Coffey, yet he is still, I think, a legitimate MVP candidate in this league. Who means more to their team than Christian McCaffrey? The Niners, I think, are 1-4 or 0-5 if Christian McCaffrey had been bilateral Achilles sitting in Germany through the first 5 weeks of this season. The guy is unbelievable. He's one of 6 players now in NFL history to record 11,000 or more yards with 80 or more touchdowns through 100 career games. Last night was McCaffrey's 100th career game. He is on the list with Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Emmitt Smith, Eric Dickerson, and Jim Brown.
Christian McCaffrey is the key to this offense, of course. But when you look at what he's done now, each game this season, he is at a guaranteed threshold for each game this season. He is consistent, if nothing else. And yes, it's not spectacular, but it is everything that they need on offense. He's giving them, man, whatever they can't do running the ball.
Touches, and he is going to be 100 yards from scrimmage, guaranteed.
That's it. He's 100 from scrimmage every game. And again, what he's doing catching the ball is more important than what he's doing running the ball, because right now that's not really pretty. Brian Robinson's getting the uglier yards. That's okay. And did you see what Trent Williams said after the game last night about Mac Jones? First of all, Trent Williams also had an awesome fit after the game. Beautiful outfit.
Not see what Trent was wearing.
Beautiful bomber jacket and a gold chains plural, but then also it was sort of the medallion on the gold that I think you and I would not be able to pull off either, Damon. But for a man that's just, I mean, that's a house of a man, Trent Williams. And when you see him speak, you sort of say, okay, that's why he does what he does, and he's the greatest, and he is the Hall of Famer on this team.
I'll tell you, he is a Hall of Famer. He's all those things, but he's starting to slow down, man. Jared Verse was all up in his business last night.
And Jared Verse does that to a lot of people. Jared Verse does that to
Jared
a
Verse
lot.
Is really good.
Yes, he's excellent, and he's letting Colby get in there. I mean, again, their defensive line, they've figured that out. The Rams figured that out through the draft, but that was such a real opponent and such a real win. And I'm going to say it again. It is the greatest win for the Niners since they won the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl that they lost in overtime against the Chiefs. It's the greatest win since then.
I agree. I think it's certainly the most impactful season-altering win. You know, the difference between 4-1 and 3-2 doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is a huge difference. 3-0, a game in hand over every one of their division rivals. They haven't lost a conference game yet. They're in really, really good shape. They are in good shape without even being in good shape. And they just, again, NFL version of a junior varsity team just beat the varsity team of the LA Rams. The Rams were pretty damn good. Now, I got to ask you, Sam, because you do live in LA, and I know that you work for the Rams flagship station now as your Los Angeles Kings postgame host. Go Kings. You're going to need to get me like an old, I don't even think I want a Gretzky jersey. I think I want an old Luke Robitaille jersey.
That's good. I'm going to get it for you. You know, their logo now, their official logo is throwback, which for guys like you and I, we want every team to do that. Like we want the Bucks official logo to be the creamsicle, right?
Purple. I don't want the old purple crown.
No.
Kings on the silver.
I'm getting you. Their stuff now is all this logo. It's all this.
It should be.
It's the Gretzky.
Why would you want anything but that
logo? And that's what it all should be. So I'm going to get you some gear for sure.
Yes, nice. I'll rock it. Go Sharks.
Yeah.
Again, the overall happiness of the city of San Francisco ebbs and flows with 49er games. Does anyone give a fuck that the LA Rams lost a game that they should have won in LA last night as they were completely stomped out of their own building by, I mean, that had to have been 80% 49er fans. Not even an exaggeration. 80% Niner fans in there.
Did you watch the post-game show? The post-game show, when the Eagles win a game in Philly and you've got Carissa Thompson and Whitworth and Sherman and everybody there, it's surrounded by the Eagles fans there. You know, they bring out Saquon or Hurts for the post-game. And last night they bring out Warner and McCaffrey. And I'll be damned if that wasn't just simply Levi Stadium. The amount of Niners fans that are there for the post, it was so red. It was Candlestick. SoFi has to be embarrassed. LA has to be embarrassed for what showed up there. And I was on the station this morning. ESPN LA is the flagship of the Rams. And at that game, Chris was there. Morales, our good buddy, was there last night. Steve Mason is a season ticket holder for the Rams. He's at that game last night. In fact, Mason had said that even if the Dodgers were in a game 3, winner go home, he would have been at the Rams game instead of the Dodgers potential elimination playoff game. Okay, that's how serious he takes it as well.
All right. Well, Steve, this is why we got to talk about whether or not you should even be a sports talk show host. Your priorities seem to be completely fucked up, but okay.
But this country also sides with him in regards to NFL over MLB. Just if you're leaving the conversation without any context, NFL over MLB, I can sort of see.
We're talking about the Dodgers in Los Angeles.
Correct. Okay. But again, it also speaks to the question you're asking me, right? Like, is there a fervor for the Rams? And I don't want to say that if the Colts game was the Thursday nighter and not the Niners, that he would have had that same answer. I don't know that, but I know that his answer was, I'll be at the Rams-Niners game. And he certainly was at that Niners-Rams game at SoFi. So the station was very represented at the game. And I can tell you the difference between conversations I heard on Thursday and then conversations I was a part of on Friday on the station. The confidence level for the city of Los Angeles for this game, it was as if the opponent was forgotten. And I don't want to say that a win was chalked up. What I mean is, a season ago, so not 2024, but 2023, this is a gotta have it game on the schedule. We're talking all week about it. Biggest game. This is divisional. This is going to decide it. The Rams started to get a little full of the idea, hey, we're a blocked kick away from being perfect. We went toe-to-toe with the Eagles in a divisional game and this regular season rematch. We're basically perfect. The block kick, we'll get that right eventually. And the Niners have no Bosa. They're coming in without Purdy. They don't have Kittle. They don't have Ayuk. They don't even have Jennings or Pearsall. It's a little bit of, you know what? Let's show the Niners who we are now. Let's show them who the boss is. We were there last year. They weren't. There was a lot of confidence heading into that game. I don't even think that it was, first of all, the spread's 8.5. NFL game 8.5 is wild. And that spread went from 5.5 to 8.5, which is a huge slap in the face to Mac Jones.
3. It started at 3. By the way, did you see the quote? Kyle came up to Mac Jones and he said, do you see the spread?
Oh.
And Mac Jones said, like, I don't do much social media, but Kyle came up to me and he's like, dude, I can't believe they moved us to underdogs again or more. And he's like, I don't even know what that means really, but let's go kill him. And he's like, yeah, I'm pissed.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. Use whatever you can for the motivation. I can only say that the Rams, I don't think the level of intensity for the Rams going into the game was the same coming out. I do think that LA is upset about that. I do think that station was upset, not embarrassed, but that station, Morales called it a gutless performance. I mean, the Rams did show up in the second half, but you could say that the Rams certainly took Mac Jones lightly in the first quarter. I mean, that's as good of an offensive quarter as the Niners have put together all season. The best. That's the best quarter they put together all season.
Look, it was. I think there was one series run by the Rams in that first quarter. Right.
By the way, how many points has Saleh's defense given up in the first quarter this season? 5 games.
0.
That's pretty fucking good. As far as I know, you can't be better than that.
It is here's another thing, we bash Kyle. I again, in a game that they won in overtime, I'm bashing him for a cowardly call late in the game where he had a kill shot and he didn't take it. At the same time, if you'd like more just anecdotal evidence that Kyle might actually be decent at being an NFL head coach, even though he has not won a Super Bowl. This is his 5th win on Thursday Night Football. Is there a tougher turnaround than that? No. I mean, it's his 5th win on Thursday Night Football. To me, this
one with a different quarterback, by the way, from Sunday to Thursday.
Yeah, there's something there too, and not a single wide receiver that can be named by anybody who isn't playing fantasy football. I always thought that the Andy Reid off the bye week stat proved that he was such a really good coach. Kyle, maybe on Thursday night, is another one of those that can prove he's a really good coach. It's his 5th win on Thursday Night Football since 2022 that ties the Bills for the most wins during that span. The 49ers have won 4 of their last 5 on Thursday Night Football. They've also won 7 of their last 9 at SoFi Stadium. And the last time the 49ers started 3-0 in their division, they did go to the Super Bowl. Shanahan, it is really good that Sean McVay has that NFC title win over Shanahan, because if he didn't, this would be the most savage onagery that you could find. Shanahan is now 11-6 against the LA Rams.
I mean, look, when you have one team, your season largely runs through the Rams, right? I mean, your direct path to being significant in the playoffs is winning the NFC West. And most seasons, it's the Rams that are the clear roadblock. And to have that kind of dominance towards getting over on that team, that's the greatest advantage you can have. That is essentially a tush-push advantage that Shanahan has over McVay at this point. And yes, up 10 in an NFC Championship at SoFi, which was again overrun by Niners fans of that NFC Championship game when, yes, the Rams did find a way to win that day. But it's at that level. And now we can talk about it. When this game comes down to regular season matchups, that's why I was telling people to beware in LA. This is going to be a very real down to the wire game. I said Eddie P was going to be a hero. In many ways he was. I still think Alfred Collins is a bigger hero, but Pinheiro was everything you needed in that game. And Shanahan was coaching knowing that he could make kicks. You could see how, right? You could see if Moody's in that game, there are differences made in that game. At one point, there was another third down where they just ran McCaffrey for about 5 yards. They needed about 8 or 9. And they were clearly just trying to get a couple more yards for the field goal, right? Yes. Yeah. That was because there was confidence in the kick, and they knew that the margin of the game could very well be 3 or under. And of course, that's what it ended up being. So that was just special. And Rams fans, because you asked me that, Rams fans were overconfident, selling their tickets, of course, which is why the Niners all get there, right? I mean, Rams season ticket holders are clearly selling their tickets for these games, and the Niners are right there to snatch them up. But yeah, I think the city of LA usually operates like this. San Diego, never heard of you. There is no rivalry. San Francisco, we just don't care. We're LA, and we don't care. That's how LA is. They're not thinking about it as a rivalry. San Francisco may think they have a rivalry with LA. LA thinks they have a rivalry with New York and London and Dubai. That's where LA is going, right? Okay. So they're not worried about San Francisco or San Diego. Okay. And that's the way it is. But when it comes to this Rams Niners thing, it's real. I know Dodgers Giants seems real, but it almost seems like there's off seasons and on seasons with these two teams.
Right.
But that's it. I mean, this is real now. And the Niners, this is a massive swing. And of course, yes, the Rams have an opportunity to come back and win the rematch, and that'll level everything down again. But this felt like the chance for the Rams to take a stamp and say, Niners, you're injured. You don't know what's going on at quarterback. You don't have your receivers. Your star Hall of Fame face of your defense is out. Like this could have been, we're on to the Seahawks. We think the Seahawks are the real cream of the crop in this division. It's no longer about you, Niners. We're on to see if the Seahawks can challenge us. And instead, Shanahan said, we are here.
To come out with an offense that was that tuned up and ready to go under the circumstances it was playing under, with backups everywhere, it's really impressive. I mean, it is. And Kyle had it dialed up early. The opening drive that was the touchdown, you can never complain about an opening touchdown drive to start your day. Then that second touchdown drive was something else. That was a 17-play, just time evaporating masterpiece that, Sam, I saw some Niner game notes. How about this? It was a 17-play, 91-yard drive. It's the most plays in a scoring drive that resulted in a touchdown since an 18-play touchdown drive against the Rams back in 2021. So that was the longest touchdown drive for the 49ers against anyone in 4 years.
And again, think about what's happening in this. The opening drive to Tungus. And then it's not McCaffrey, right? McCaffrey caught is the touchdown score on that play. But look where Mac put it on McCaffrey. What a beautiful goal line play that is. By the way, if it came down to the Niners needing to convert 3rd and 1, I argue that is the play. That should be the Niners 2-point play. And it should be their gotta have it 4th down play. is McCaffrey on that out. I mean,
By
McCaffrey.
The play that I want to see the 49ers watch the Rams and then take was the touchdown to Nakua, which Devontae Adams was like the decoy.
Yes.
And
yes.
Adams runs a slant, and then Nakua is running a slant right behind him. And that's got to be a touchdown 9 out of 10 times.
It's so beautiful. And again, there's not, I'll give McVay credit. There's not a receiver getting schemed open as well as Nakua. And Nakua largely is going to catch contested balls. He's that good. But how often is Nakua catching a ball and you're just like, this guy's open? Like, yeah. I'm sorry, if fantasy league managers understand this is the guy, what the Niners don't? I mean, how is he open ever? And yet that's the beauty of what McVay does.
You know what? That we were saying the same thing about Cooper Kupp a couple years ago,
yes,
right?
Yes.
How is this guy, this guy's got to be the number one name circled on the board by every defensive coordinator, yet he seems to be unchecked.
Exactly. I mean, look, the Eagles, when A.J. Brown is a great game, it's like, okay, A.J. Brown's ripping the ball away from somebody and like stomping a defender, fine. But it's not, he's not running free. Puka Nacua is not on a milk carton here. Everybody knows who Puka Nacua is in this league at this point, and he's running free. I don't even understand it, but look, good for them. They use Tutu very well, and they sort of Whittington is sort of that Robinson guy for them now. I thought Robinson was going to have a massive game against his former team. Instead, it ended up being Kendrick Bourne.
When we're not giving the ball up,
yes.
Missing he had a huge drop on a wide open 3rd and 6 where Fred Warner was even like pointing around like LeBron James going,
yes.
like, what are we doing over here? That was a huge moment in the game. Again, if Kyron Williams catches that ball on 3rd and 6, I think the Niners might lose. If that special teams fumble by Garendo, who should be cut this morning, by the way,
that was a fumble. That was a fumble. I just want to say that's a fumble. Can we real quick? It's not my just saying yet, but the whistle in sports dictating whether something ended or not. I'm
stop it.
Furious about.
Stop it.
Unless people are stopping short like the freeze game. What the fuck are we doing? The whistle stopped the play. Not if the players kept going.
Right. I think forward progress is stopped. Well, wait a minute. Forward progress is stopped on every tush push, but then a second, third, or fourth effort gets it done. So how come progress isn't? How come the whistle's not happening there? How you guys don't know when to blow the whistle, so quit blowing the damn whistle.
I would say also the league has gotten better about not blowing the whistle to go back and review plays, right? The league has gotten good at, okay, we think the quarterback's arm was forward, but the ball did come out and the defender got it. We're going to let the defender run all the way to the end zone, and then we're going to look at it and say whether it was a scoop 6 or whether it goes back to the offense, right? Don't blow the whistle because you thought his arm was going forward. Let's go back and see it. So on a play like that, you think Garendo is stopped, but what's the point of the whistle there? If he's getting ripped apart, wrenched apart, yes, come in and break up the fight. If you were an NHL ref, okay, fine, yes.
You want me to solve every single replay problem please. Instantly? There is not a single element of anything that happens that disqualifies a single play from being reviewed.
Who is that? Who made the menu for reviewable versus not?
Anything can be reviewed. Anything. How about that? Let's just start and operate from there. Let's make sure we don't have human error fucking this up.
I mean, McVay was furious, but even McVay he couldn't even get as furious as he wanted. The one question he asked was, you could see his lips. He said, "Oh, it's not reviewable."
Yeah.
And like that was sort of the end of his argument because he wanted to just say it's so obvious, here it is. And then the ref says that
and reviewable had those guys. I mean, that's the thing. Neither team did anything to trigger the unreviewability of that play. The officials did.
And by the way, and let's ask Garendo. What, you heard the whistle and threw the ball in the air? No. The ball was ripped away from you. Clearly. But we'll take it.
Must be trouble. Where'd Damon find Sammy?
Oh, this is good.
On the futon.
This is good. I mean, so it's 99-2000. Well, Gruden had the job at this point. Damon is early in his on-air career. Damon is pulling an all-nighter to be the overnight/morning show update anchor for all the sports updates, even traffic. You might have helped. I think they had someone else doing traffic, but you were doing all the sports updates for a morning show that came in from the East Coast that we played back.
So I didn't want my name to be confused with the traffic guy, so I used a separate name for my traffic updates, and I would use the name Denton Fender.
Look at that, which is a beautiful name.
That's the best traffic name of all time.
That is great.
Give me your traffic update, Denton Fender.
We need a Twitter handle at Denton Fender. So Damon/Denton was there. Now, the night before, so picture a Sunday night. Damon is hired at the station to be a job that would be considered AP, would be the sort of the job in television. It's a one step above a PA. It's someone who knows how to do everything at the station. So he's cutting highlights. I'm running the board for a pre and post game show for the Raiders, which JT the Brick hosts. Damon is cutting the highlights. Wheatley won't go down.
That was me.
Damon is.
Yeah, Greg Papa gets credit for that call. That was all Damon Bruce. It really
that was Damon who delivered that call, so I could get it to JT.
I would be screening angry Raider fans' phone calls for JT the Brick.
Yes, and then Damon had to be on air at 3 a.m. So the game would go. Let's just picture it's a Sunday night Raiders-Chargers game, which we definitely did. And then Damon would fall asleep for about 2 hours in the update booth after we cut highlights and finished the post-game show. He would wake up at 2:45, splash water on his face, and do sports updates for the morning show. From that, so we were certainly roommates at the station because I was right there with you while you were sleeping. In fact, you told me, wake me up at 2:45.
I had to bring a plug-it-in alarm clock because the iPhone had yet to be invented and you just didn't have an alarm clock on you. I had to show up at the station with an alarm clock so I could take my hour-and-a-half nap in between shifts and then catch shit from Lee Hammer the next day saying, why is there a sleeping bag in here?
No. I remember the day. I remember they walked in with Damon's futon and sleeping bag. Someone asked me, they said, do you know whose this is? And I kind of looked at Damon in the other room and I shrugged my shoulders like, I don't know. I don't know.
He's no rat.
No. Always keep your mouth shut. Never rat on your friends and always keep your mouth shut. So Damon went, we were roommates at the station. And then eventually I got a great apartment and Damon actually was my roommate in San Francisco for a couple of years there as well, which was spectacular.
Anyway, that's how it all started. Yeah, I didn't find Sam. Sam didn't find me. We found each other.
Very true. The world brought us together. Marlette would say the stars brought us together, and it is true.
Did. We got Tobin saying my best friend had a fake ID. Just incredible. Fantastic. That is a legitimate fake ID name. Just incredible. Because again, I feel like Sean Connery in The Untouchables. Who would claim to be a treasury agent that wasn't? Who would claim that my name is just incredible on a fake ID without it being real? I mean, that's
spectacular. Denton Fender.
It just shows you it's all about the presentation. Confidence matters.
It's so important. It's so crucial to what we do. But I just want to remind everybody again. I mean, in the comments, let me know about a Niners game that meant more than last night's. When's the last time a Niners game meant that much? And certainly when they came out on the right end of it.
Yeah, every single game last year turned into a this doesn't matter way too early.
Right. Now here's why this game doesn't matter.
Now the question is, can the Niners just go 6-6? They have 12 games remaining, and if they go 6-6, they're a 10-win football team, and that's where all good conversations about what you might be in the postseason start. It starts with a 10-win conversation, and a staggeringly disappointing 6-6 over their next 12 gets them to 10 wins. That's the beauty of banking all these early wins for the 49ers. I'll tell you, it's going to be tough for the NFL to play catch up on Thursday Night Football. Let's look at the schedule, Sammy. There are some games out there that just, the interesting from a more, morbidity standpoint. Can the Colts just end the Raiders at 1-4? If the Raiders go to 1-4 against the Colts, the Pete Carroll, I'm going to make things better story gets a lot harder to sell.
You remember by the way, do you remember what Jeff Saturday's only win as a head coach was?
Was it the Raiders?
It was Raiders. Oh. It was, because remember his first game when he replaced Frank Reich, his first game was against the Raiders in Oakland, I believe. I don't know if it was Vegas. Actually, maybe it was Vegas, but they won that game on the road.
Yeah.
They won that game on the road, Saturday did, and it was, of course, terrible after that the whole rest of the way. But so that's your rivalry on Raiders.
Here's the thing. We got robbed of what might have been a great game. Lions-Bengals, but the Joe Burrow injury makes that one less than interesting. Jaden Daniels coming back for the Commanders against the Chargers in L.A. That's kind of an interesting game.
And remember, the Chargers lost to Jackson Dart in his first start. The Chargers are thinking, we want to reestablish that we are a top-tier team in the AFC. So that's going to be a great one.
Buccaneers Seahawks might be the best game on Sunday, Sam.
I love that game, but again, you and I have talked about it. Watching Baker Mayfield is just something we both get joy out of. We can't stand it. Niners, of course, are not going to enjoy watching him in a week. Now, granted, they kind of get the extra rest here because they did the mini bye they'll have before they have to face Baker in Tampa. Baker is that good. And I watch all Tampa games just thinking, what's Baker going to do this week that's going to completely surprise me? Even in losses, he does things that I am certain he cannot do. And he's been doing that his whole life.
Here's the deal. I drank too much coffee. Guess what? I got to go take a leak. Can you
100%. I'll walk through the next two games. Yep. And I'll bring you back for the tush push.
I'm going to take a quick leak, and then we're going to come on back. We're going to talk a little playoff baseball happening.
Yes, please. I do want it. Yes.
Today in history, and everyone should feel good today. Sammy, take it away. I'll be right back.
Okay. So Bucs Seahawks. Now we're going to find out. The Seahawks feel like they're poised to go to a Super Bowl right now. That's how good they feel about Sam Darnold and what they're doing defensively. And it might be at that level, but what a test. Tampa's a great team to test everything about, because Tampa, we decide whether Tampa is sort of at the top tier in the NFC or if they're just the portal into the top tier. So this is like getting into the club or not. Can you beat the Bucs? Because that tells us whether you can compete with the Eagles. And this will be a great test for the Seahawks and Sam Darnold, etc. I like Tampa to bounce back. They feel in many ways that they should have been able to come back against the Eagles. It did not happen. They never tied that game. They never led that game. So that's one where you say, all right, Tampa's licking their wounds. They know if they had Mike Evans, that would have been a different story. Perhaps. But that's a game. Another great game, Monday Night Football. Does anyone in the comments think that Jacksonville can beat Mahomes and the Chiefs? It feels on paper like Chiefs-Jags. You want to just blow past it and say, all right, that's a game the Chiefs are going to win. Again, it's in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's coming off a very impressive win over the Niners, in which their defense looked ready to play. That defense was special. They showed up. Josh Hines-Allen is for real. That running game with ATN is for real. The Jags, and by the way, Trevor Lawrence, if he's got a chance to say I'm back and I'm anywhere near worth $50 million, show up on Monday Night Football at home, Duval, and show us something against Mahomes head to head. Trevor Lawrence, you want to be something in this league? Here's your game, Monday Night Football. I don't know I hope Peyton and Eli are on that game. I think they are. I think they try to get Peyton and Eli for all Chiefs games. So I certainly hope Peyton and Eli. I'd love to hear Peyton and Eli on Trevor Lawrence during that game. I want to hear that opinion. That matters.
I mean, look, the Chiefs are going to get up off the deck and be 3-2 after 5, which didn't feel like was going to be out there for them the way that their season started. And, 3-1 Jags at home, 2-0 at home. That is an interesting Monday nighter. It is.
It is. And all of a sudden, again, Indy and Jacksonville, who's going to take that division over? Houston, woke up a little bit. Like all of a sudden, that's really interesting. And I just want to know, KC and Jacksonville have an interesting history. Granted, it was Doug Peterson, but remember the Jags came all the way back 2 seasons ago in the playoffs against the Chargers. And then the next week in the divisional round, they knocked Mahomes out of the game. Damon. They knocked him out of the game. He had to miss series in that game. And I'm not going to say they nearly beat him, because the Chiefs did establish winning that game in the fourth quarter, but the Jags had a moment where they could have challenged for that. And for those that just think of the Jaguars and write them off, can I remind everybody, the Jaguars had a lead in the fourth quarter against the Patriots in the 2017 AFC Championship game.
All right,
that really happened. But that really, it's stunning that when I think back, I'm trying to think Jags, wow, that they could have been in a Super Bowl. Didn't happen. Whatever. Here they are now. Is Liam Cohen for real? And do they stand a chance against the Chiefs? I think they're a very live opponent. That win against the Niners was impressive. Defensively, Damon, you loved what Jacksonville did to the Niners. As much as we hated what happened to the Niners.
If you had to go back and say, name all the AFC playoff teams from the last 5 or 7, 8 years, you would have definitely forgotten about Jacksonville, and no one would have included Tennessee. But Tennessee actually had an AFC title game even appearance, right?
It was great. There was a great piece that you and I read through. I think it was at CBS Sports that talked about how the Titans went from the number 1 seed to the number 1 pick. Wasn't that many years in between those two things?
Yeah, it just all fell apart.
And now Cam Ward, after games, is saying, I don't know what the hell we're doing on offense.
Cam Ward's like, I wish I had another year of eligibility left.
Exactly. That's brutal. And the other game I wanted to get you here for while you took a leak before I brought it up, Broncos-Eagles.
Went well.
As long as things are running smooth down there, we're happy about that. But Broncos-Eagles, Damon, do you think that's interesting?
Oh, yeah, it is. Well, so first of all, the Eagles, every game they play is interesting because they're one of the bullies in this league right now. The Broncos think they're a bully in this league. They're really not yet, but it's in them. It's there.
And again, their strength, from a secondary standpoint, even if the Eagles are trying to get A.J. Brown involved, which seems like something that they might force in this week.
By the way, why? Why
so does it matter?
Such a hard fit. Why is Sirianni not doing everything humanly possible to tamp down that story, either by overfeeding or doing something different? I mean,
I want to preface this.
A game with a slant pattern, 7-yard slant. There's something easy. Just get it going.
It's not going to be my just saying because I don't want every just saying to be Philly related, but I'm going to say this. Nobody had more targets in the second half against Tampa than A.J. Brown. They weren't creative plays, but they threw the ball to A.J. Brown and he was not open and he could not catch the ball. Jalen did not complete a pass in the second half of that game, but everything he threw was at A.J. Brown. The other thing is, I'll tell you about an offense that no one complains about in this league. It's the Rams. Everyone loves the Rams offense, right? I mean, really, there's nothing to pick apart about the Rams offense. Well, guess what? They have 2 losses, including one against the Eagles. The Eagles are unblemished to this point. This dissection of good enough, it's like once you're good, everyone thinks you should be smashing every team in this league. This league is 32 teams. Do you understand how good these teams are? I'm talking about the fucking Jaguars. I'm talking about the Saints. Do you understand how good a football team the Saints are? I understand in this league, they're not better than 30 or 31 other teams. But do you understand how fucking good they are and how many people are invested in making sure that they're competitive in a game?
The worst team in football is so much better and so much more competitive than the Chicago White Sox or the Colorado Rockies.
There's not a gap like that in this league. There's just not. Right. There's not. And the difference between winning and losing.
Difference between the best team in the NBA and the worst team in the NBA is this. The difference between the best team in football and the worst team in football is that.
Look at the Saints-Bills. The Saints-Bills game was in Buffalo this past weekend. By the way, the Saints had a penalty call away from leading that game in the fourth quarter. Okay? So shit happens. And these games are close for a reason. So
lost to Jackson Dart, who lost Malik Neighbors to a torn ACL early in the game. I mean, nothing makes sense.
What makes sense?
That's why it was silly to say that the 49ers have no shot going into LA.
8.5 points. 8.5 points.
Every team in this league is George Foreman.
One shot away.
You're probably not going to win this fight, but you are one right cross away from ending this.
You're so right. So this idea that the Eagles, because I understand they put it on the Chiefs in a Super Bowl. So everyone's got that level of you're leading the Chiefs 34-0 in a Super Bowl. That did happen, but that's not going to happen every week to every opponent. No one thought that going into that Super Bowl game, and everyone thinks it now coming out of it, and it's just unfair. Every season levels everybody back to zero, and you want to dissect the Eagles offense? I'll only say this much. Call it balanced, if you will. They're moving the ball around. Saquon's not dominating, and I understand that's what it is. Everyone was okay with A.J. Brown not getting as many passes last year because Saquon had a historic season, so it made more sense. Okay, you're giving the ball to Saquon instead of A.J., and Saquon's running away from everybody, and that's not happening this season. Through 4 weeks last season, the Eagles were 2-2 and then figured it out and won the Super Bowl. Now they're 4-0 instead, and they still have to figure it out. I'll take that. I don't care what the fuck they've done to this point. They're winning. And by the way, if Jordan Davis returning a field goal block is something they had in their game plan, fine. Good for them for figuring that out.
By the way, how about this? Barry Ford coming in saying, my board ops name was Quinn Blakewood. Yes. I was born on Quinn and grew up on Blakewood. How about that?
Incredible. My uncle David is in the X-rated film industry. He just for years he distributed videos.
Performer?
Nope, excitement video. So he distributed videos. That's what he did, man. He had stores all over the place. Excitement video. That is what that Blake Greenwood was the equivalent of what is your porno name, and that was a good one. That was a good one. Denton Fender, it would be good.
Yeah. What is it supposed to be? Is it supposed to be the street you grew up on in the name of your first pet?
Yes, I believe so.
Is that what your porn name's supposed to be?
Yep.
That would make me Cubby Parkway.
Isn't that great? I'm Rufus Gaviota or Rufus Woodlake, which is still, I'll take that. Rufus.
Well, you'd have to, if you're going with the porn name, you have to go with the street that has the word wood in it.
No doubt. Yeah. Am I just short? And they would probably tell me your stage name's Rufus Wood, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. Rufus Wood is great.
Rufus Wood. Hey, Rufus Wood.
Rufus Wood. WOULD. Yeah, Rufus Wood.
Yes, he would. Okay, so
I got a quick just saying. Can I just get it off my chest?
Real quick. Everyone in the chat right now, we don't have a huge audience today. There's more people who show up to complain about losses than to celebrate wins. Oh, everybody in the chat right now, give me your porn name.
Oh, I love it.
Everybody give me your porn name under the guise of it is your first animal, your first pet, and the street you grew up on. Give me your porn names. I want to see them. I want to see them.
So good. It's so good.
We might have a winner right off the rip. Buffy Van Ness.
Oh wow!
Buffy Van Ness. I don't know if we can beat Buffy Van Ness. Although Butterscotch Johnson.
Oh my God!
I mean, Butterscotch Johnson is a description of what you might have down there. It's like butterscotch.
That is so good, butterscotch.
Cinnamon Park, Hugh Josky Bear.
Oh my God!
Max Camino. Oh, that would be a great porn name.
Come on, that is the best one.
Sam?
Oh yes,
Sam?
Which is true. Which is absolutely true. That's gonna win.
Ricky Escudillo. He's almost like a dildo built in there.
That's incredible.
Bunny Zit. That's incredible. You grew up on Zit Street.
That's good. Zit. Wow. By the way,
Pickford. Pretty good. What Hand Banana? Hold on, Hand Banana coming in here. Best fake ID. Louisiana ID, Chip LaRue.
Oh,
I mean, I guess you can go with the LaRue. Sure.
LaRue is so
Gold
good.
Rush. I like it.
That's so good. So I want to talk about kicking, which everyone's really excited about.
Is this your official just saying?
Just saying. So remember the just saying. Remember the just saying.
We're going to just saying.
Just saying, as an expression, by the way, is awful. And here's why. Because when you're just saying, you're actually saying it, and I'm just hearing it. So just saying as a preface to like, I don't really mean this is bullshit, because when you're saying it, people are hearing it. So
you got to promise not to be offended. No, I'm not.
It's a cop out. It's a cop out, and it's a necessary thing to say. When you're just saying it, why don't you say, I'm saying? Why don't you try that on? Next time you're going to say just saying, say, I'm saying, or I want to say this, or I want to get this off my chest. Because that's really what you're saying.
Porn name, Puffy Esperanza.
Oh my God. That's okay. Could that be the winner? I mean, I don't know how we beat.
I don't know if I don't think anything actually takes out Buffy Van Ness.
I'm all for that.
I'm downloading a Buffy Van Ness video after today's show, just in case Jillian's going on vacation next week and I need a little backup.
That's good. I think you're right. I think a little AI version of Buffy Van Ness. Yeah, I think that could work. That could work for you. Yeah, Rufus would. That's what Rufus would do.
Just saying.
So just saying, we've had an incredible run in this league of kicks that have been interesting. Missed extra point and field goal last night because the Niners blew it up. We had the Eagles walk off the Rams on their second blocked field goal. This one returned for a touchdown. The Jets and Bucks game had an incredible blocked kick in it as well. We've had this sort of resurgence of special teams coming. The Eagles followed up their walk-off against the Rams blocked field goal return for a touchdown. Their first special teams play against the Bucks was a blocked punt returned for a touchdown. I mean, that's elite special teams that we have not seen. And the dynamic kickoff, I got to say, is interesting. And as bad as Josh Carty was in regards to missing an extra point and a field goal, he has perfected the knuckleball kickoff.
But by the way, he also landed one short of the landing zone.
He did. I saw that.
The 49ers got the ball, at the 35, the 40?
They did. I think it goes, when it's illegal, I think it's the 40. So yeah. That's something you got to get right. But he has been great at kicking the ball where the returner looks fucking lost, right? Yeah,
Sky Moore was dealing with knuckleballs out there last night.
Sky Moore, the Eagles traded for Tank Bigsby to catch a field goal or to catch a kickoff, and he hasn't done it yet. The guy's literally here to catch kickoffs. He hasn't caught one correctly yet. It's spectacular what Carty's been doing with the ball. But my point here, my just saying, is about fantasy football, and here's why. Do you know that a blocked field goal or punt at most in your fantasy league is worth 2 points if you've got that defense? Do you understand how difficult and how the percentages are stacked against making that kind of a play? That play, I would argue, whether you get it in the end zone or not, should be worth 10 points for the amount. I'm talking about a block. I'm talking about getting to the ball. If you've got that special teams or defense on your fantasy team, it should be worth as rare as it is. Am I right? I mean, shouldn't it match the performance in some way?
It is almost the rare equivalent of the onside recovery.
Correct.
And that's how infrequent it happens. It's almost like a special team safety.
It is exactly that. And it should be worth 2 points. 2 points. It's worth 2 catches to a receiver. What are you kidding me? That happens every game. 2 points. It should be worth 10 points. And speaking of your onside kick recovery, here's what makes no sense. And by the way, the rest of the season,
you're just talking about fantasy scoring. By the way, you're not talking about
yes,
in-game
no. I'm talking about fantasy. Everyone here has a fantasy team, watches plays in this league. And when your team does something that does not happens once every 5 games, and your team does it and it's worth 2 points. And that brings me to the point. You brought up the onside recovery. The onside recovery has a 6% success rate. And it's worse. They've made it even harder again this season. Now you have to declare, and now you can do it ahead of the fourth quarter, which is nice, but you have to declare it. And it's been very difficult. There's been the Panthers recovered it against the Cardinals this year. There's been 1 recovery on an onside attempt this season. Do you know that if you have that kicker or that defense special teams unit, you get 0 fantasy points? 0. For the most impossible play. By the way, it's not the most impossible play in the NFL. It's the most impossible play in sports. That is egregious. This league is predicated on gambling and fantasy as much as anything else. All commissioners, take a look and make that adjustment right now. That play should be league-winning level play. If you've got a special teams unit that's going to block more than 1 kick in a year, amazing. If you have a kicker that is so good in an onside kick that you recover 2 in a season, it should show up. It should be worth it. That's an amazing play by your guy that you chose for that week, and that is what I'm just fucking saying.
I love that just saying. I have one too. It's related to special teams, but I'm just saying Han Banana's got a good idea. At the Dubliner on Saturday, if we have name tags, we should use our porn names on our name tags.
Love.
100%. 100%.
Please do that. At the door, write it down here. Yes.
Let's do that. Upon
entry.
My just saying is I don't like K-balls. How about this? I don't even like each team getting its own football. This is not Major League Baseball. We don't need 100 baseballs to get through a game because they're being hit out of the park and fouled off and all that shit. I want every football game to have 1 football. I want your team to play with the same football that my team is playing with. I don't have a prepared football to my specifications that make it different than your football. There is no second other weird kicking only football. I don't like doctored sports equipment. I want 1 football for the football game. It never leaves the field. It never gets kicked into the stands. You got nets to have all the footballs. And if you do lose 1 football, fine, go to the backup football. There should be 1 football that both teams share and no K-balls at all in a football game.
That is awesome.
Just saying.
I love that you said that. And Major League Baseball and the league could tweet at Major League Baseball and say, what are you guys doing? Because the amount of balls, by the way, a ball that misses the strike zone at this point, I feel like the catcher throws away. I'm not talking about it hitting the dirt, right? The amount of balls that a catcher throws away, and it's like when the ball doesn't hit the strike zone, the catcher's like, oh, this ball's fucked.
Yeah,
get it out of here. Yeah, what is this? Get this ball out of here. This ball's terrible, clearly. It is amazing how many balls are gone through. And hopefully they're going to charity or being like recycled into something that's going to save this country. Maybe they're being used for AI research. I don't know, but I hope.
That is what's happening with football. Every single time. Did you know that in a Super Bowl, every play almost has its own ball? Like they roll 50 footballs through a Super Bowl so they can sell at auction a Super Bowl game used ball.
Look, I understand the concept behind that. I'm with you on your just saying, and it brings up 2 clear moments in the history of this league.
Wait a minute.
Number one.
Erwin's having Buffy Van Ness fantasy.
We're all thinking it now. I mean, Buffy Van Ness can really, she can knock on the door just about any time. 2 moments in this league that we're going to discuss when it comes to K-ball. Number 1, and as an Eagles fan, I love saying this one, but Tony Romo may have certain regrets or remorse in his life. There will never be anything like the lost snap on an original extra point from the 2-yard line, not a 33-yard kick, that he couldn't handle in a game that they make that kick, they win that game in Seattle. Yep, in Seattle. Bill Parcells, coach of the team. And that play And then, of course, him scrambling and getting the ball, which is hard enough with the K-ball because it's slippery, right? It's like a fish at that point, but he does pick it up and gets near the pylon and he can't quite stretch out to get the 2, which also would have won the game. Wow, what a moment. So that's K-ball story number 1. Number 2 is this league actually sat down Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback the greatest player, you could argue, in the history of this game, actually missed games. Jerry Rice, it's okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. But at least in the argument, right? Tom Brady sits at the table for that conversation.
Yeah, we are at the table for 2.
Yeah. Tom Brady actually had to miss games in this league for the amount of air that he had in a football, text messages that he may or may have sent to a pool man. And just the amount of insanity around that, which we loved. We loved dissecting that. We loved reading those messages. Nothing was greater than breaking into Tom Brady's phone for that. But the fact that a ball was able to be, as you said, doctored because each team has their balls. This solves that football discussion forever, Damon. The league is monitoring the ball. I mean, again, the baseball's got them in a humidifier, right? I mean, just keep it in that case the Stanley Cup is in, right? I mean, unveil the ball in a huge locked case. That's fine. The league makes sure that they are at the level they need to be.
Oh, you look at it this way. You can get a Louis Vuitton sponsorship and have the today's game ball is in the Louis Vuitton case. And here it is. It's being brought out to the 50-yard line.
White gloves, right? White gloves placed beautifully.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have the keepers of the ball.
Kenny Pickett comes out with his gloves on both hands, right? Yeah. I mean, it's
okay, so there it is. There's our just sayings. I'm just saying that it's awfully fun to have playoff baseball on in the background, and I got to tell you, I am involved. I grew up a Cubbies fan.
Have your Cubs moment. Have your Cubs moment right now, Damon. I do want you to have it.
I'm just going to tell you right now, we got the official Craig Counsell series coming up here. Milwaukee, we got Milwaukee Brewers, Cubs, nothing but bad feelings between the two towns. It's
By the way,
series
never happened in the postseason. Never.
Cubs Brewers, yeah, no, it's
never. How is that? Like, it seems here we go again.
Cubs Brewers was never supposed to have the Brewers are supposed to be in the AL.
They're in the AL. Yeah, more Angels Brewers series than Cubs Brewers series, but that's incredible.
Yankees, Blue Jays, Tigers, Mariners. The last thing Major League Baseball wants is Mariners, Blue Jays to decide the ALCS, but it could happen, and I would watch it. It would be great. Dodgers, Phillies. The team that wins that is winning the World Series.
I got a flyer on both. I got a ticket on both. About 3 months ago. The Dodgers, by the way, you know that the Dodgers were at 200 for the first 2 months of the season, plus 200. When the playoffs start, you can't get a team at plus 200. When there were 30 teams viable for the World Series, the Dodgers were at plus 200. You know how insane and disgusting that is? So I waited until it dropped to 250. It eventually did. I got a flyer, I got a Dodgers ticket, and I got a Phillies ticket. Those are the only 2 teams I took. So I love hearing you say that. Something could still fuck it up, but I love hearing you say that.
I think that's what's happening. By the way, Otis said it's only a 20-minute flight from Chicago to Milwaukee. No one in the history
I want that plane.
Traveling has ever flown from Chicago to Milwaukee, except for maybe one very rich or wealthy person once.
You know what's amazing about
the helicopter that followed the Bulls team bus when they went up to play the Bucks to win game number 70.
Yes.
That is the only flight from Chicago to Milwaukee. They literally tracked the Bulls team bus going to win game number 70. We can ask Steve Kerr about it someday.
I love it. So Craig Counsell, this being the Craig Counsell series, as you said, at Cubs Brewers. Yet, what is Craig Counsell's greatest moment as a baseball player? Neither a Cub nor a Brewer moment.
It's a Diamondbacks moment.
Diamondback moment, Craig Counsell. And is there a more uncomfortable stance outside of Craig Counsell at the box? Is it right? Can you even replicate that? I mean, Youkilis is close, right? Youkilis kind of does, right? Kevin Youkilis.
No, but Craig Counsell was it. Like the bat was pointing at the pitcher.
And he also has this thing he's doing with his hands where he's right. There's movement. We look like we're doing the shake weight right now.
Sheffield had this, right? You know,
Sheffield was there was something rhythmic about Sheffield's that I liked. And whereas Counsell, it's almost like Counsell was almost like a field goal kicker preparing.
Stretching. He was like way up here. He looked so uncomfortable.
I want that. I need that footage for this series. But Cubs Brewers is going to be.
one of my favorite entities in the world of sports entertainment is Batting Stance Guy. Do you follow Batting Stance?
Love, of course.
Oh my God. When he's like, let's go through the 77 Cincinnati Reds lineup. I'm like, oh, John, I'm watching this video.
Dude, Fernando Tatis, the original, by the way, not Junior. Fernando Tatis, the original, maybe the greatest stance of all time.
Give me Tony Perez. Let's go.
Yes. I mean, Batting Stance Guy is the great. When I take Levi's wiffle ball bat all the time, I just walk around doing batting stances. It's spectacular.
I've got a collection of bats, and I will do. Yeah. So
you know what I should have brought out if I knew we were doing this? That I have. You remember when I dated Crystal Fernandez? She was on a poster. Yeah, Crystal Fernandez. Nice to say this. She was on a poster. I dated a girl who was on a poster. Not quite. What's Van Ness's first name again? But that was pretty. Crystal Fernandez was kind of at that level.
Yeah, we ain't Buffy Van Ness in it.
No, Buffy. But you know what Crystal's middle name was? Princess. So I dated Princess Fernandez. That was pretty nice. And Crystal Fernandez.
You like her more?
It's fine. But Crystal Fernandez, beautiful girl. She was on the poster for Fox Sports Radio. Very much the sex symbol of the station and was every bit of it. She also, though, is she's actually married now to Darren Dreifert, which is cool. But she is, and also a Dodgers fan, but she was close to baseball and covered baseball for a long time. She got me. She knew I was such an Angels and such a Vladimir Guerrero fan at the time. I have a game used Vladimir Guerrero bat. It could be my most prized possession in life.
I mean, why wouldn't it be?
I mean, Damon, do you understand how, and by the way, it's a tree trunk. The fact that this guy hit the ball at all, let alone out of the yard, it's as if he went to bat with the donut still on it. It's unreal, this thing that he swung. It's great.
Julio Franco was odd.
Oh, great batting stance. Yes.
So so here's a little something that's it's weird.
Yes.
So Jillian and I had a wonderful week at the Lair of the Bear, which is a summer camp for Cal alumni, which my wife is, and we all signed up for it, and we go up. It was beautiful. It was a great week away with the boys. It was summer camp. It was perfect. She played an awful lot of softball, so we would go and watch mommy play softball, and my wife is a bit of an athlete, and she had a stance that reminded me of Andre Dawson's stance. Andre Dawson used to have that really cocked back leg, and then he'd have his front leg like pointed towards the tip of the box, and he would just kind of like the way that he coiled before he would uncoil that swing. And I'm watching my wife kind of have an Andre Dawson batting stance, and I'm like, that's hot. It's kind of
a great choice.
It's kind of hot right there. I mean, I knew she grew up a Giants fan, but she kind of looks like Andre Dawson at the plate. I'm a little aroused.
I'm a little Van Nest on that. I'm a little Van Nest.
I'm thinking about the Hawk. Is it?
That Hawk is responding.
Am I turned on because I've got Andre Dawson on my mind?
Well, again, posters. Look, posters in a room through your life, it changes, right? It's the Lamborghini, it's the Ferrari, it's Andre Dawson, and then it's Cindy Crawford, right? I mean, there's sort of like a natural progression to the things that turn us on. And I think you're right on that. I think you're absolutely right. My favorite stance, I'm going to say, I just realized who it was, Tony Batista. Tony Batista used to face the pitcher, holding his bat like this, right? In other words, the ball is coming at me this way. I'm looking at you. My feet are level and spread out. I'm facing the pitcher this way, and then as the pitch comes,
you turn back, and then
I turn back.
Yeah,
that's an awesome stance.
You know who's got a batting stance that I like? Rafael Devers. He's got that big open stance.
Yes,
Rafael Devers looks like he's about to put like 25 baseballs in the bay.
And it's just, and there's like a dominance to that, because there was a relationship, like Randy Johnson, the dominance of a pitcher. I mean, all of us here who actually played Little League at all, you knew that there were those pitchers that grew up before everybody else. And then remember, they like played half the season overseas or something, and then they'd show up like halfway through the Little League, and you're like, oh shit, they got Johnson's pitching today. And this guy would just mow everybody down. You didn't even want to be in the box. You kind of asked the ump, can you just, instead of an intentional walk, can I just take the intentional strikeout? Like, can we just, and it's like, I don't even need to go sit in the box. There are pitchers like that. But Devers changes that relationship where he looks like it's so hard to be the dominant guy in the box. I mean, the pitcher has all the advantages he's got the ball in his hand, right? That's so much easier to control than whatever you're trying to do with that stick. Bonds had it. When he was at the plate, you're like, all right, Bonds is in control of whatever's happening here with that baseball. Devers has that confidence of like, I'm here for whatever you got. It's a rare thing to see.
And he did grow into that. He was also the fastest 0-2 in baseball in the week that he got traded to the Giants. Like, this guy was just striking out all the time. But he's good. He did turn into the back of his baseball card, and he continued. Well, Hugh Josky Bear, by the way, says Julian Stance looked more like Lenny Dykstra to me from that video. Well,
I'll take that though. I'll take that one. That's a poster in my room.
Really wanted to turn me on. Jillian would have this huge big league chaw, just all right, we've probably overshared. All right, let's go. We got playoff baseball. We got a very interesting week of college football. We got Indiana, Oregon next week. We'll get to that next week.
By the way, something we got to share when you're talking about Oregon. Dan Lanning is that post game against Penn State is. I think that's going to be the most special coaching moment of the season. Go back, everybody watch and ask yourself, if Dan Lanning is that high on life, he needs to be the new Tony Robbins. If Dan Lanning has that kind of emotion and level in it, he is, if he's not cranked out of his mind
right.
in that, which
right.
I'm not here to judge.
Everybody wants to give Mike McDaniel a test down in Miami. No, it's Dan Lanning who might be doing the powder.
I mean, he literally does this team. It's
yeah. He's like rubbing his teeth.
This team is special. It's unreal. Honestly, at a fantasy draft full of cocaine, you don't have guys speaking like that.
My favorite Dan Lanning moment from that game was caught, and I didn't see it until afterwards, but they're in the tunnel. They're getting ready to take the field. And, Happy Valley's just bedlam. They're white out. It's nuts in there. It's loud in there. And we are, by the way, I have been to Happy Valley. Until you are in that stadium and you hear the "We are Penn State," that is one of the most fucking intimidating, loud, nasty. Like, I don't know if it translates on TV as much as it is imposing in person. That "We are Penn State." It is big and loud. And Dan Lanning is sitting there and he's bobbing and he looks at it was one of his players. He said, "We are about to kick their ass." And he meant it. "We are about to kick their ass."
That's what you want. That's what you want. Leader of men. It's another level. For those that hate your head coach, ask if you could go into a room of those dudes and convince them to do anything.
I just want my head coach in any moment where he needs to be that guy to be the stepbrothers on the couch in the tuxedos saying, "Your interview's up next," and you stand up and say, "We're about to fuck shit up." That's what I want. Whether you're gonna or not, that's what I want. That's how you got to walk into that game. We're here to fuck shit up. We might.
And I'm going to credit Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan was that on Thursday Night Football. There was no reason to think that the Niners had the team to beat the Rams. That was not the roster that you would draw up to beat that Rams team.
By the way, Michelle Haberman, big Oregon girl, she says, "That pumped me up. I'm so glad the camera caught that." Look, Michelle, if you're going to be at Plus Mania tomorrow, we have to stay on opposite sides of the bar. It's Indiana and Oregon week, so it'll be really great to have you there, but we can't make eye contact at any point in time, and I'm not giving you a sandwich from Ike's. It's war week between you and me, Michelle.
Proper social distancing.
The way it goes.
That's just what it is. Absolutely.
She understands. Are you ready for today in history?
I'm so excited. I learn. I hope everyone learns what I do each week. The amount of things I share from this part of our conversation each week is
this
just
where
special.
Most of the the water cooler conversation comes from?
Did you know? Right? I mean, there's just those little things you can drop on somebody. They're like, I had no fucking idea.
Look at it. It's on.
Love it, Michelle. Let's go.
At each other's throats on Saturday. Happy 70. Here's the thing. If you really talk about what was the secret sauce of Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks' voice can never be ignored. You cannot ignore how talented that band was. And Chrissy McVeigh's voice was just a cup of caramel. I love Chrissy McVeigh. But the secret to Fleetwood Mac was how good of a guitar player Lindsey Buckingham was and how lousy of a boyfriend Lindsey Buckingham was, because he broke everybody's heart. I think he slept with everybody in that band but Mick Fleetwood, and maybe Mick got a piece. I don't know. Either way, happy 76th birthday, Lindsey Buckingham, who, along with Fleetwood Mac, gave us the vacation theme. Holiday Whoa. That's a great
That's
thing.
on Levi. That's on Levi's playlist. He loves it. And every time that comes up, he goes, "Daddy, that's your song." He knows how much I love that song. And yes, I mean, obviously tied to a great movie, but stand on its own. Just listen to that song. It hits.
The only thing that I don't like is the barking dog at the end of it.
At the end, you know what?
The barking dog in there.
At this point, I love it because usually the end of a song is sad in a way. The fact that they give you something to look for, like what is that? You know, it kind of gives you that. Wait, is that really a dog barking? I love everything about that song.
Happy 63rd birthday to Tommy Lee, Motley Crue's drummer.
Well, yeah, that and right.
And, well, you know, he's famous for one other thing.
That and the snake cage. Yeah.
Happy birthday to Clive Owen, 61 years old. Very good actor.
Stud.
I'd tell this today to Jillian because Jillian loves her. Happy 56th birthday to Gwen Stefani. Look at Gwen Stefani and you tell me if you would be like, yeah, she's mid-50s.
No
she
chance.
looks like she's 28 years old still.
And prime Stefani up there just wowing us with no doubt. I was at a high school band from one of my buddies. They were in a high school band competition last week, and I went and there was this all-female band came out and they were doing Gwen Stefani one. It was so good just to remember how prime Stefani was. Wow. Loved, no doubt.
I like curvier women than Gwen offered, but yeah, beautiful. I mean, beautiful, gorgeous face, great in shape. There's not. By the way, we're officially at the age where all the girls that we thought were hot in like high school are now like all in their 50s. Happy 52nd birthday to Nev Campbell. Remember Nev Campbell from what her and Denise Richards
Party of Five. Well, no, that Wild Things.
Wild Things. Yes.
1 and 2 in the pool though. The pool scene is next level. By the way, so again, the second Morales reference of the day, but he brought up Nev Campbell's birthday today because he like his one crush in the world for some reason is just Nev. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's a weird one crush in the world.
It is. I mean, if you're going to choose, but good. I'm glad. I mean, everyone's got their thing. I love it.
Happy 52nd birthday to Lena Headley, or as you know her, Cersei from Game of Thrones. Cersei.
Spectacular.
Happy birthday. Stifler is 49. Sean William Scott is 49. And Houston Texans quarterback CJ Stroud is 24 years old. So anyone who wants to give up on him, don't. He's only 24. The NFL
it's the worst offense in football.
It is. I
mean, from an eyeball standpoint, it's the worst offense in football, which is shocking. Sean William Scott, by the way, was best friends with a guy that we both know, but Vito Violante. Vito, who works at Fox Sports Radio still and kind of took over Morales' imaging department there. Vito was best friends with Sean William Scott when he came out to L.A., and then Sean William Scott made it, and Vito's like, and it just ended. Like, I
don't know you anymore.
Vito, it's like the one story. Vito's a great dude, never has anything bad to say about anybody, and then it's like, ooh, that guy.
You know, that sucks because
it sucks.
By the way, I am Mr. Oh, I ring the bell. Everybody's coming for the ride.
That's for fucking sure.
The only
entourage, right? Like that's the dream for all of us. Yeah.
100%. Like literally all I ever want to do is make enough money to provide for my family and some security there. And then the rest of it would just be like, let's get my friends together and let's party. Let's
share.
Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm a millionaire. We're all millionaires. Congratulations, everybody.
Who's coming with me?
Who's coming with me? Who's up for dating Buffy Van Ness tonight? Who's coming with me? All right, here we go. Today in 1872, the Bloomingdale brothers had a good idea. I think you all know what it was. Bloomingdale's opened today in New York City in 1872.
Are you more of a little bag, a medium bag, or a big bag guy from Bloomingdale?
Oh, they remember that. Yeah, that big brown bag.
Yeah, the big bag. Yeah, the big bag.
Today in 1936. By the way, this is going to be your moment pulled from water cooler conversation. An American college football coach who started off at Brown was also a Shakespearean actor was very, very good at football to the point where he innovated a few things that really, really grabbed hold. This man invented the wing T offense as we know it. This man's contributions to football, though, are probably most felt and reflected in every game that we still watch to today, because it was this football coach who said, instead of playing two halves of football, let's break this up into quarters. His name was John Heisman. John Heisman goes on to be a very good coach, but he, again, is an actor. He's a stage actor as well. He knows how to present. And then after his football career is over, he decides to move to New York, where he opens the Downtown Athletic Club. And sure enough, this is what gave birth to the Heisman Trophy. John Heisman opening up the Downtown Athletic Club. And today, in 1936, John Heisman passed away. So there you go. A lot of people have no idea about the history of the Heisman Trophy, why it's called the Heisman Trophy, where did it come from. There you go. Now you know. John Heisman.
How could I love football as much as I do and hear
not know that
for the
right?
first time, right? And hear that for the first time right now. That's great. That's the beauty of this show. That's the beauty of this show. To love the sport this much, to want to tell your friends things that they don't know, and to still be able to collect at this age. That's gorgeous.
Today in 1955, Captain Kangaroo premiered on CBS. Also premiering same day, 1955, over on ABC, The Mickey Mouse Club. Do you want to know why? Look, Captain Kangaroo had a monster run, but do you want to know why the Mickey Mouse Club took greater hold of an American consciousness? Annette Funicello's tits.
Yes.
Annette Funicello's tits were the sauciest thing on TV in 1955, and it was on a kid show.
Good for everyone. Good.
By the way,
for everyone.
Annette Funicello. Look that up, kids.
Worth your time. Worth your time.
Today, in 1957, the California State Superior Court ruled that Allen Ginsberg's Howl and Other Poems was not obscene. There you go. I mean, we're talking about City Lights Bookstore.
Yes.
We're talking about the Beat Movement. We're talking Jack Kerouac. We are talking about one of the truly, original American art forms, beat poetry and jazz, right? I mean, that's kind of what America has given.
And again, you and I talk about instant replay all the time. Right. And we always say that whatever you're thinking about with instant replay or rules changes, that a decade later, we're going to say it was the right move. And this, of course, looks ridiculous that it was ever a conversation. So thankfully, everyone came to their senses.
Howl's a monster. It's great. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn, looking for an angry fix. Angel-headed hipsters burning for the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo in the machinery of night. I mean, I'm not a big poetry guy, but if you got to go with some poetry, pull out the fucking big guns. Let's go with some Howl by Ginsberg. Any other NFL show going Howl today?
There's no chance. There's just no chance. Nobody is educating like this.
How often do you get the Heisman background, Howell, Allen Ginsberg, all in the same 10 minutes of broadcasting? Thank you for being here, everyone. Like and subscribe, or make the choice to never watch this again because you're like, what the hell are these guys talking about? Let's see. The Dick Van Dyke Show today in 1961 debuted on CBS. Turner Network Television today in 1988. We all know that the very first video on MTV was Video Killed a Radio Star. The very first thing on TNT, they opened with a big gun too. They're like, let's open with Gone with the Wind. They showed Gone with the Wind. It was their first thing on Turner Network Television. That was when Ted was giving the old high hard one to Jane Fonda.
Yes. Those are some great years. Ted Turner's greatest contribution, by the way, I think he revolutionized television because what he was doing with the Braves then really set the stage for what you're seeing now with all teams. I mean, we're talking Yes Network, MSG, even the SEC Network, Big Ten Network. I mean, all of that is predicated on the idea that we can surround one team, one league with support, and everyone will watch, and the amount of money that we can then charge for that. I mean, that did change sports television.
Absolutely.
Forever.
Oh, I mean, by the way, Damon, thanks for last night. Like I said to a date, hey now, look at you, hey, getting it done. Now, look, we had a really good fun watch party last night, and the supers were very, very generous. I think more supers than we've ever had in any single watch party we've ever done. So thanks you all for that. Hit like and subscribe. We're wrapping up with the fact that today in 1992, Sinead O'Connor tore up the picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live. And this was a moment that had America like turn its back on Sinead, and Frank Sinatra came down her chimney, and she was banned from NBC, and she was forbidden to ever come on Saturday Night Live again. And it was really, really odd because she was totally wrong about the Catholic Church covering up a sex scandal. How embarrassing for her. Oh, wait a minute. Sinead got that one right. Let's see. Here we go, Sam. The entire show has been leading up to this moment.
Cannot wait.
And you will remember this moment. I'm going to tell you this moment. And you're going to tell me exactly where you were in this moment. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Today in 1995, the verdict, not guilty for O.J. Simpson. I was in college. I was at Indiana. We had all stayed home from class that day, and we were having a screwdriver party. We were serving cocktails with OJ in them, and we were all having what was assuredly going to be the OJ is guilty party, and he wasn't. And it's one of the few times where I can honestly say I couldn't believe it. Because the amount of OJ, 1,000% easy to see, no matter how you look at it, did that. He got away with it. That was some masterful lawyering by Johnny Cochran. That was some serious fumbling of the bag from, what's her name? Martha. What was her name?
Let's get it right. Because
And what was her name?
Was it Marsha?
Marsha Clark.
Marsha Clark. Yep.
Clark?
Marsha Clark.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, right. And Darden,
Lance
right?
Ito.
Lance Ito for sure.
Lance Ito, he bungled that whole thing. Anyways, not guilty was an absolute shocker. Absolute.
Christopher Darden. So for those that haven't watched, this is one of those things.
Marsha Clark
and Darden. This is one of those things that no matter how much you throw at me from a documentary standpoint about a certain topic, you'd think I'd get tired of it. O.J. Simpson related material can show up on my doorstep any day. I will open that package and consume what's inside. I am just absolutely any new information tied to this, I'm willing to consume.
Did you see the made-for-TV OJ thing where Cuba Gooding Jr. is OJ?
It's great. Yeah, love it.
It's really good.
It's spectacular.
It's
by the
really
same
good.
people that brought us American Horror Story. It's great.
And David Schwimmer, I think, is Kardashian.
Yep, it's great. The whole thing's awesome. It's so good.
And then
good.
The ESPN OJ doc was something else. You're breaking the rules of God, OJ. I used to play that sound drop all the time.
It's so good. I don't know why. I just cannot get enough of that. And now that he's gone, I mean, that's the other thing. Like OJ is gone. You know, it was like so cool. Him still being here. I had friends send me pictures with him every once in a while, right? Saw him at a bar in Florida or whatnot, you know, and it was like he was almost like a Halloween character. OJ was really, I mean, it was so strange to see OJ. And again, what's great about a lot of the documentaries from a sports standpoint is to remember how good he was at football, which is like forgotten by the time all of this hits, right?
I mean, OJ had so transitioned into being, Nordberg and, an actor and a pitchman and a guy.
Davis pitchman. Yeah, of course.
OJ, the running back, was the least of it by the time we thought of who he was.
And yet, to go back and Hurts, sorry, not Avis, but Hurts, to go back, sorry to lay that on Avis, but it is Hurts. But O.J. Simpson, the football player, every conversation about Saquon Barkley and Eric Dickerson last season should have been about O.J. Simpson, by the way, because it was O.J. really tore it up when you go by a per game standpoint in regards to chasing a record, it was OJ who smashed it. To go back and remember how good OJ was with the Bills is just, it has to be seen to be believed. He's that good.
He was transcendent. It's like you're watching a guy who's literally like bigger, stronger, faster than everybody else on the football field, and they can't do anything about him.
Next level.
Not many people know that he went to City College before he went to USC. Yeah, wow. He went to Galileo. He was from San Francisco, over in Viz Valley, right? Either way, that is your show today. And if you're a 49er fan, again, you should not be. You're breaking the rules of God, 49ers. You have no running game. Your entire team's hurt. You're on a backup quarterback. You lost your best defensive end. Your all-world tight end isn't even playing. You are your WR4 is your WR1 in the depth chart right now. And you're 4-1, and you're undefeated in your division, and you haven't lost a game in the conference. And if there has ever been a Friday where you should tip one back and be happy about the Niners, even though they're not perfect, you should be very happy. Again, you said it perfectly right at the beginning of the show. Your glass isn't half full. At 4-1, your glass is full. Take a sip.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better than watching football on Sunday when your team won Thursday. There's nothing better than enjoying Sunday when your team has won on Thursday.
Just no stress. This is why I hate when the Bears play on Thanksgiving. Ruins Thanksgiving.
Right.
Whether they play well or not, my entire day is shot.
But to win on Thursday, Sunday is such a gift. And there is not a quarterback controversy in San Francisco. There's a quarterback competency.
All right, let's just end it with this. This is the right way to end such a positive show. When are we trading Purdy, the Saints, or the Dolphins? Oh, and that's why we want you coming back for more. Thank you so very, very much for watching. For Sammy, I'm Damon. Appreciate you. We hope to see everybody at the Dubliner 420 Saturday. We'll see you there tomorrow. I really hope if you're in the Bay Area, if you're in San Francisco, you're going to come on through and say hello. We really hope to have you there. We're sorry that Sammy couldn't make it, but Sammy's got big hockey things to do, and he's going to send some Kings gear, so I'm going to be cool with it. And let's see. Thank you so much to Sleeper. Thank you so much to my friend Ike. And thank you to all of you. Hit like and subscribe on the way out. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, they're gone.